Hey, and good evening, and welcome to this version of the late Sunday night live. If we'll see if we can get anybody on here because I am doing both of the vertical and the horizontal streaming, but sometimes YouTube doesn't like that. So we'll see how this turns out. And let's see. If you get to see this version on here, drop me a line. Let me know that you are in here. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and look after this one. And we'll see if we can get more people to come in here. Yes, I still support President Trump. Uh-oh, Craig Miss, you're here. All right, Robert, about time. I was thinking you forgot about us. Not at all, my friend. Not at all. Brian Waza. Man, good to have you guys in here. 23448, welcome back. My Patriots are already here. And you guys are on the vertical version, right? The vertical version, I'm assuming. Portrait. Portrait is what they call it. All right, so let me see. Let me make sure I switch from the other one. Yeah, guys, don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up in there. I know that I didn't do any live yesterday or today for that matter. But you guys don't know, but I have been busy here in my home studio. Glad that I can do what I do, to be honest. I have a lot of fun doing what I do. All right, so I am not going to worry about monitoring the landscape version because it seems like everybody comes in through the vertical version. But I just wanted to let you know, guys, that it is available if somebody wants to watch that version. I should still be able to. I mean, I'm not going to be able to see your chat because I'm not monitoring that chat. But let's see if I can get on the right version here. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that I've been doing over here. And let's see. Yeah, this is the one, I believe. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. You are here with me, Dennis. And as you know, today we are matching our Gulf of America. And I will open up just letting you guys know that if you have a question about why I believe that is the Gulf of America, you can always ask me. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and tell you why I believe that that's what it is. Give me a second here because I'm gonna log in so that I can see the chat. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's good. Yeah, vertical is where we're gonna do our chatting. Sorry, guys. If you are on the landscape mode, you can always join us on the vertical, on the portrait, if you guys want to. Very slacking, absolutely. You have no idea, brother. You have no idea what I've been up to over here. So, first of all, today I spent majority part of the day working on my studio part of the house here, and I also had to do some a little bit of spring cleaning, if you will, and I had to iron all my dress shirts, my dress pants, get them ready for the week. Because my wife is busy doing other things with my daughter, so they got to get spoiled yesterday. Robert knows all about it. She's the boss. So I gotta make sure I take care of my wife. She's the reason why I'm here with you guys talking smack. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, we got about 30 people in here. What do we got? Docito, White Gulf of America. I'm confused. Well, if memory serves correct, that's not how I was going to do my life today, but I just felt that somebody's going to come in and start hating on my hat. Especially when I'm wearing the red is a Republican look for some reason. Well, what makes sense is you have to understand this. When the Gulf of Mexico was named, it was named by the Spaniards, as I believe that it was the colonizers that named the Gulf of Mexico. Now, in that time, I believe that it was the right call. It was the Gulf of Mexico. But after Guadalupe de Hidalgo, we got Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. Well, now most of the North America actually has, the territory from the Gulf. So I think it's fair to change the name to what it actually is today, which is the Gulf of America. Now, that's my rationality for it. Take it with a grain of salt, as I always say. I know you are, Docito. I actually understood that was a sarcastic answer. Oh, man. It's so good to be here, man. I know it's late. I know you guys are East Coast, Pacific, Central, etc. But I had to get on. I had to get on. Early this morning, I was going to start doing the project, of what I'm doing here for the channel. And my wife said, take some time for yourself. And she allowed me to play my game. And so I played Destiny 2 for a couple of hours today. And then I got busy doing all the work that I had to do back here. With that being said, hey, Unks, what's going on? This is the weekend, If I take 2 days off in the weekend, it's like a mini vacation, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking so hard to go outside and do this live outside for you guys, but then I wouldn't be able to, look at videos with you guys and stuff like that. So, Howard doesn't agree with me. That is the Gulf of America. It's still Gulf of Mexico. Just because an orange changed it, it doesn't mean you accept it. Well, I have, and so has Google. If you Google Gulf of Mexico, it is no longer the colonizers who has the authority over the name. It is now us, the American people, and we love it. I think that the name actually is more appropriate to be the Gulf of America because Mexico is part of America as well. Mexico is part of North America, and so is Belize. just in case you didn't know. So if you don't like it, that is a United States of America, Gulf of America, just look at it as a Gulf of America because it's Northern America. You like that? Either way, it is what it is. Can we give Texas back to Mexico? No. You know, you know what's funny? It's people now that they see what the United States of America is. People now, let me, what, why is this so different? I can't see my Honduras flag on there. I'm going to have to minimize right here. Bada bing, bada boom. That's better. I know. It's a little bit smaller. It's better for you guys so you don't have to see me too much. Jack says it will be changed. I don't think so. I don't think so. And if it gets changed, it's going to be by an anti-patriotic, anti-American buffoon. That's just how I feel. That's just me and my personal feelings about it. What do we got here? What else do we got? Chaz from New Zealand. Call it the Gulf of Mexico. That's old news. Get with the program, guys. Get with the program. We are now the Gulf of America. I know it hurts your feelings that the Orange Man changed it, but it is what it is. Trump won, evil lost. TDS is real, absolutely. And I got some pills here, but it's not for TDS. It's for my migraines. It might just work just for you. But here we go. You know what? I was going to start off with something else, but why don't we talk about Trump? Let's talk about Trump and see why I support Trump. Does anybody want to know why I support Trump? Or does everybody already know? I'm sure that all of my members you guys already know why I support President Donald Trump. And believe me, there is a lot of people that have been hating on President Donald Trump and have judged him tremendously as if people are actually without sin. It's funny how people, when I say that this is a Christian country, a lot of people from the left, they jump on me and be like, oh, this is not a Christian country. This is not a Christian. Well, you know what? Two reasons why you lose. One reason is if it's not a Christian country, then you don't have to worry about morals. So forget about it. Forget about the bad morals that President Trump had experienced in his life. Now, if you believe that this is a Christian country, because if you don't, that means that you have no right to judge him on his personal moral grounds. Now, by the way, none of those things are, all of the things that have come out against President Trump has been allegations. Nothing has been proven in court, etc. The Epstein files, we all know that's BS. It's interesting that, people say, oh my God, he gets mentioned in there millions of times. It doesn't matter if he gets mentioned billions of times. The fact is that Epstein hated President Trump because he made him excommunicado. He banned him. He broke the relationship with him. And he was no longer special. And you have to understand, for somebody that is a pedophile like Jeffrey Epstein, think about the childish feelings that he had. See, it's not the same as having an ego, right? Because President Trump has an ego. I have an ego, okay? And I believe on aligning myself with people that think alike me, right? That we got to think alike in order for us to function as one unit. And President Trump and I share that particular feeling or belief or egotistical emotion, I guess, however you want to mention it. But I share the same thoughts that President Trump has. When I listen to President Trump, and you have to understand this, before I voted for President Trump, I want to find out who he is besides what everybody else says about him. Now, I was more into looking who Trump was back in 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. I was an entrepreneur. Now, I became an entrepreneur because a friend of mine joined this business, right? And, the business, to me was like, I don't care about that. I don't want to do it. It's like, come on, man. Donald Trump is sponsoring it. I was like, who gives a crap? And so I was like, you know what? Let me think about it. And so what I did is I went and looked up who President Trump was. And I started learning about his history, about his 90s failure with the casino, the bankruptcies, the infidelities, etc. And I'm just like, I don't care about that. I live in California at that time. And believe me, California is like the song says, Californication. It's California is full of sin, full of immorality. Hollywood has made a great point of showing themselves as to hate Christianity. They have always put Christians down and have been able to raise fake religions up as a popular thing to be because all those fake religions serve a purpose for the devil. But Christianity doesn't. Christianity fights against Lucifer. And so, Hollywood is what it is. Every club was corrupted. Every club was meant for males and females to go and engage in some sex, UAL activities, you know what I'm saying? And sadly, because it was single people, it was married people, California is just a dark cloud of sin. It's just crazy. I don't even know why people want to be there if they're Christians, to be honest. But, maybe there's stronger Christians than me out there, and I think that that's just the way it is. But nonetheless, you have to understand that there's this adult entertainment business out there. I don't see any of these leftist people coming onto my show or go on the news or protest pornography. Pornography has been a big, bad problem, for children. Melania, hooked up and made a connection with the First Lady of France. They came together and they work on some software to try to keep children, safe, from predators and stuff from the internet. But I don't see any leftist people going out there and be like, oh my gosh, he said grab them by the kitty. And, there's women that came out and say, well, what he said is true. We do like it, but nonetheless, it's locker room talk. And I have heard worse things come out of women's mouths. Believe me, I have. And I can believe that women make the comments that they make. It is crazy. Like, as a grown man, almost by the way, guys, 2 months, baby. 2 months. And I'm going to be 50 years old, man. I'm so excited about 5-0. But you know what? But the thing is this, that, the leftist people, they wanna go out there and try to make themselves look like they're this righteous people, that they're this Christian people, and they got these morals on the right side. And oh my God, I can't believe he said that about women. Oh my God, I can't believe he called them fat and ugly. If the shoe fits, it is what it is. If you get offended because somebody says retarded, ignorant, or stupid, I mean, people here on the left, they call me worse. So, it is what it is. And you guys have heard some of the messages that people leave me. It's crazy. But, my members know because I played the message for them. But, people try to say that they're this and that because they want to judge President Trump. Right? Now, before he was president, everybody knows this. The world knows that everybody loved him. Nobody had a problem with President Trump. Nobody hated Donald Trump. Yeah, they criticize him and this and that. And, and so they act like they're perfect. They act like they're righteous people. They act like they really believe in God, even though they don't. Right? And I will say this. In the 90s, and I don't know if people forget this, okay? But in the 90s, when President Trump, back then Donald, was talking about the Majal, I think that's what it's called, right? The casino that he had, it was making money. It was making money until we had a really bad economical fight in the 90s. And we thought, everybody said, oh, it's going to be the Great Recession. People on the left are always fear-mongering, and it throws our economy, and people's minds get flipped and switched because of all the lies that they throw on the legacy media. But anyway, so it was a very hard time. So it's not like the casino just sucked. It's just people stopped going. There's not enough money to go around to throw in this and that. And, there's a lot of Indian casinos that the only reason why they stay open is because of federal money. We give them millions and millions and millions of dollars for those Indian casinos to stay open. And I bet you that most people don't even know that. But it is. And nobody was giving Trump anything. So regardless, this is a big failure. He might not say it that way, but that's the way I see it. It was a big failure. The casino was a big failure, because he was in the entertainment business. I don't know if you knew this, but he was also involved with Playboy Entertainment. Not that he was a porn star or anything, but that is part of the adult entertainment, the WWF, and WWE, I believe is what it was. And, you get all this attention and women left and right. And like I said, I started off with the example of California because I know when I was single, and I mind you guys, look at this ugly guy. Look at this ugly guy. Okay? I had a lot of game in California, but not because I was good looking. It's because California is full of sin. It is a spiritual battle, and the devil knows exactly what to put in front of you so that you fail in life. And I was failing. You have to understand that before somebody comes to God, if I think a lot of people don't want to come to God because then they will really have to be held accountable for what they do. But the reason why I mentioned that is because I know what it was like for me. You should know what it was like for you. But here's the second reason why you will fail if you don't believe in God. If you don't believe in God, you already know you got no moral compass. So there's no room for you to judge him. And if you do believe in God, this is your double failure. Jesus Christ came to die in the cross for us so that we may be saved, so that we may repent. And if President Trump repents, he will too go to heaven. If you repent and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you too will go to heaven to be judged. I don't know if you're going to stay up there. That's God's choice, not mine. So there you go. So you lose. Judging President Trump, you lose twice. You lose twice. I want to point out something that President Trump brought up when he was having an interview with Maria. Maria brought up the issue about the whole civilization annihilation. And I already interpret this in a different way, but she brought it up. And, President Trump made this point, and it's the same thing. I think I translate it the same way. So I say civilization is not population. Civilization is something different. There's civilized people and there's uncivilized people. And I think that he's talking about the Islamabad, which, by the way, there is a place called Islamabad. But he's talking about, this, and he says, well, Maria, wait a minute. Maria, look, everybody likes to judge me because I said that. 47 years they have been saying death to America. Has anybody on the left say anything about that? That is an annihilation of not just civilization, but population. From the river to the sea, chanted over and over. That is genocide. That is a complete annihilation of people, of an actual people's race. The anti-Semitism, and nobody on the left says anything. You know what I'm saying? And so this is like the logic that I'm looking for in here, and I'm just like, he's right. And I understand what he's saying. So the way that he said, destroy a whole civilization, people have a problem with it. But when they say death to America, all of us, humans, population, nobody on the left said anything. And that, my friends, it's something that you need to share with your friends. Everybody thinks that this midterms is going to kill President Trump and it's just going to be a lame duck. I'm going to tell you something. It's not going to destroy Trump. He's still going to go down as the best president in American history. That's going to affect us, the people. You got people that have been going against President Trump. And I told you, all of President Trump's enemies will be put to shame. And you're like, yeah, right, Dennis, blah, blah. Well, that's because I believe in God. And God says his is revenge. So, maybe Trump might be the tool that he's going to use for that to come. But they're going to be judged for what they've been claiming. False testimony. Remember what I told you. If you raise a false testimony against somebody and you go and call it as a fact and say, this is, without any proof, you too will be judged in the same manner. I give you Exhibit A. You ready? You guys know who Exhibit A is? Well, Swalwell. That's right. He dropped out of the race. He is not going for governor anymore. And what I find very interesting is that their own Democrats, they know it. They know that he's doomed, and they're just going to let him drown. This is kind of bad to say, but Melissa Thornton. Oh man, Melissa T. She voted one time. She voted with Republicans, and she was scared shitless. Like, kid you not, very scared. She was shaky and crying. And who does that? Why? Why would you be shaking and crying? A couple of days later, she's gone. That's not a coincidence. I'm telling you, the deep state is crazy. The deep state is crazy. So Swalwell is gone. And I hope that they continue to go after him legally, because I want to see him behind bars. And everybody that has gone against President Trump, they will pay. One way or another, they will pay. And I'm not talking about we're going to go beat him up or somebody's going to attempt on their life. But we're talking about they're going to pay legally. And they will, I really hope to see all these people in jail. Ilhan Omar, I'm going to say this. If you know Ilhan Omar, tell her to get the hell out of our country before it's too late for her. And then we're going to have to put her in jail and then deport her. All these bad governors and mayors from all these blue cities and states, I'm going to tell you right now, it's better for you guys to start packing and leaving right now before it gets really bad. One of the things that I know about President Trump from early in his career, even the 30s, 40s, is that he will make people pay. As a matter of fact, I think I might have a clip about that. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, I will show it to you. If I can find it. If I can find it. Let's see. I think I clipped it. I think I clipped it. And let's see. Where are you, my little friend?
I would have.
Okay, so here we go. This is just the beginning of the video, but just listen to Trump. You ready?
I would have wiped the floor with the guys that weren't loyal, which I will now do, which is.
What a failure. I forgot to change my monitor. Here we go. There you go.
I would have wiped the floor with the guys that weren't loyal, which I will now do, which is great. I love getting even with people, but I will. I would have wiped.
You love getting even.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I clipped it from, man, he was, what a perfect pause. Fighting back. This is something that you guys on the left side don't understand. Whether President Trump has made all these crazy, moves and this and that, I want you to understand one thing. If you don't appreciate him for what he does, you have to understand this right here. Where many people are afraid of investing, Donald Trump has gone at it. Where many people said, oh, we're not going to invest there. You know what? He's done it. Where many people said he was going to fail with the Trump Tower, you know what? He's done it. It's still there. Whether it's bronze covered with gold, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It looks beautiful. And then, you know, people always go on the negative as if they have done better. People have come in here, have come in here and have told me, "Oh, I got 30 years experience on the economy," and then I blow them away with just common sense. I don't have to go get a master's degree so that I can listen to the news and see what's going on in my life. I don't have to go and get a bachelor's or a master's so that I can see that when gas prices go up, everything else goes up. I don't need that. I don't need that. And just when President Trump was being beat down, was thrown under the bus, and everybody was being hateful and just clowning on him and this and that, they were just jealous at his success. They were jealous of his success. And there be people now today, they say, "Oh, he's listening to Netanyahu." Please, the man has been saying that he wants to do this, of what he's doing today, what we voted for, that he's been wanting to do this for like 30 years. Nothing to do with Netanyahu at all. So I don't know where these people get all this, crazy negativity. But if you haven't learned by now that the legacy media is just going to try to destroy the man that stands against them, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to continue to support him. You know why? Because if you are anything like me, I know who I am. I'm always honest. I'm telling you, I'm always honest. I find myself to be an okay guy. Good person? Sure. To human standards. To God's standards, nobody's good. But as a human being, I think I'm a good person. I care a lot about people. My wife knows. That's why she married me. Okay? And that's why we're still together. Because she knows I have a good heart. But the point is that President Trump also has a good heart. The problem is that people don't know how to talk with him. He has been double-crossed. He has been backstabbed over and over. And you know what? It's happened in my life as well. I have helped people from other countries. I have given them a bed, a roof over their head, some food. I have tried to help them in their career. Backstabbed. They stole from me. They clean house, etc., etc. And you know what? I learned from that. And so has Trump. And so if I know that I'm a good guy and I am honest, and I can be told by many people that I'm a thief and I'm a liar, knowing that I'm not, I have to support President Trump. Not just as president, but as a person. Because you know what? Even though all of the things that people say about him, when it comes to his relationship with his ex-wives, sure, you can go ahead and throw everything at him. But I'm going to tell you something. He's a man of business. When his wife, I think it was Ivanka. I think it was his wife Ivanka that got a bad lawyer, and they gave her some really horrible advice. He wanted to give her more money than what she actually was getting because of these bad lawyers. He didn't change it. He followed the law. If okay, that's what you want. Okay, done. But he said, he says to himself, "I'm a businessman." And she decided to go and do this route. That's fine. But he's a businessman. At the end of the day, he's a businessman. And I said this from 2016. 2016. I said, the first thing that we need, and the reason why he should win, is because we need a businessman in the White House. Why? Because all these people that come in here to try to be presidents, they don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to make deals. And so we need somebody that knows how to make deals. You know what's very interesting is that everybody says, "Oh, he was silver spoon fed, and he was born of rich money." Let me tell you something. So were many others, and they failed. So it's not just about he was born into wealth. He lost it all. I know his dad bailed him out. I think it was $1 billion. I think it was. His dad bailed him out. Hey, that's what family's for. He learned how to use the system. He knew the loopholes in taxes, etc. And you know what? He didn't just benefit himself, but 20,000 plus employees also benefited from him being able to stay afloat. He has fired many people. I'm sure he had to lay off a lot of people. That happens. It's part of life. But the one thing that people don't take into consideration is that sometimes the economy goes bad. And this is not when he was president. The economy goes bad many times, over and over and over and over. And this is a fact. And so what I'm telling you is, I'm telling you all this information because now legacy media and the crooked Democrats, who are not real Democrats, as you guys know, they lie to you straight to your face. I don't even got to make it up. The Democratic Party left us. They left us. They don't care about us, the American people. You know why they don't care about us, the American people? Because we believe we have rights. We believe that the Constitution belongs to us. And so we know that we have rights and we fight for our rights. But illegal immigrants, they know they got no rights. They know that they can just slave pay the illegal immigrants. And they know that the illegal immigrants will do anything to stay in this country, even commit fraud for them. Facts. You see it right before your face. You see it right before your face. We had a guy, Nick Shirley, goes to Minnesota, hooks up with a guy named David. David and Nick Shirley hook up and they start talking about this fraud. Now, this fraud has been brought up to Tap on Tim way decades ago, years and years ago, and he did nothing about it. And now that Ilhan Omar is there, all the trash that she's been talking about Trump, about the white people, about the Americans, and how she loves Somalia over the United States of America, it drives me bananas. It drives me crazy. And like I said, everybody that has raised false testimony against President Trump and us, they will pay. They will pay the price. And God will make sure that it happens. Ilhan Omar can't backpedal no more. She knows she messed up. She knows she messed up and she got caught. You know, I don't get it with these people. Why would you flex $30 million? Why don't you just stay humble? You know, why don't you just redistribute that wealth? As a great socialist that you are. Redistribute that wealth, millions of dollars. Just redistribute it. No big deal. Not a problem. No problemo. Be a good socialist Democrat. You know what I find interesting? Is that nobody gives a dang about the lower class, hardworking Americans. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know, and the leftists, the retarded leftist, the people that don't have a brain to think with common sense, those who need a gender card, gender privilege card in order to bring up an issue like Canadians are doing right now. It is crazy. You guys might as well just move up there right now. Everybody, all these leftist, crazy, purple, rainbow hair people, just go on. Just go to Canada. They love you there. They love to have crazy-ass people there. As a matter of fact, speaking of Canada, they just said that they don't want to help us with our defense. They're not going to buy any weapons. You know what? I say this. President Trump needs to start saying, you don't got our support no more. We are no longer going to defend you. If China wants to come in and kick your ass, we ain't going to say nothing. If France wants to come in there and make you bend the knee to the crown again, we're not going to say anything. We're going to say, hey, Macron, get in there. Get yours, buddy. Get yours. And hopefully we'll get the people from Alberta. Oh, man, I really want Alberta people to be here. I want those natives from Alberta. I want you to know if you're Canadian and you are a native tribe in Alberta, nobody's going to take away your culture. If anything, you will have your own reservation. And we are going to support you as we support every other native tribes that we have in this country. So I will say exit exit the lunatics in Canada and become part of the United States of America. 51st sounds just about the right number. I think that'd be fantastic. But anyways, going back to the topic of these lunatics going crazy on us, lying to us. It's funny. If people tell me that I'm racist, interesting. That is fantastic. So I got African descent. I got Native American from Central America, Native American descent in me. I got Spaniard descent in me. So tell me, how can I be racist? Tell me, I don't know about slavery? Man, my country had slavery. We were enslaved by the conquistadors. You know what? It's in the past. It's in the history. We don't dwell in it. We continue to move forward. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for all the atrocities that happened, we wouldn't speak Spanish. We wouldn't be able to communicate all the way from Mexico all the way down to the South America. Isn't that crazy? Imagine this. If the atrocities that we had in this country, of the United States of America, what do you think would have happened to the Indians? Because I'm going to give you something. Whether the settlers that came in here, the white man that came here and brought a disease like a cold, a simple cold, and smallpox and all this other stuff that the Native Americans have wiped out, but 90% of Native Americans died simply because of their immune system. Imagine that. Who helped the Native Americans heal? The white man. Who helped the black man become free? The white man. It's funny that I say that, because now that I say that, I wanna be able to quote a movie scene from, I think it's called Glory. And there's a movie scene where Denzel Washington is calling Morgan Freeman an ignorant nigga, right? And Morgan Freeman slaps him outside the face, across the face. Bish. Denzel Washington is looking up at him like, what the hell just happened? And you know what he said? Morgan Freeman, of course, in his great scene, he says, you know what my question is? I want to know why white people are dying for ignorant people like you. I'm trying to change the words. Ignorant people like you. How do I know that? Because I dig the graves for all the white men that die so that you can be a free man. You ungrateful son of a gun. And I'm telling you, the ungratefulness of people, it's very concerning. Because for so many times I have told you this. Listen, you think that the native Indians were only killing those white people that came in here? No. There were tribes that were killing those of a weaker tribe. You know why? They wanted food. They were hunters and gatherers. What do you think is going to happen when somebody comes in and threatens their food chain? What do you think is going to happen when somebody comes and threatens to take the territory where they're hunting bison? What do you think is going to happen? They're going to kill each other, and they did. It wasn't the white men killing the Native Americans. Before the white men came, Native Americans were killing each other. Don't cross this boundary. Don't cross this border. You get killed. Let's not forget about the Apaches, the scalpers, the Comanches, and the Midwest, which, by the way, Spain took over that territory. Spain was the country or the government at that time, the power that gave that land or sold that land to the United States of America. And that's why that part is part of the United States of America. Because the Comanches were owned by the Spaniards. I'm just giving you bits and bits, but go ahead, go do your research. It is fun, isn't it? It is fun. But I have to tell you all this because the right man for the job is right there. Right here. How can I put that guy right there? There we go. That guy. He is the right man for the job. He has been beat down. He has gone through court probably thousands of times. Has lost a lot of battles, have won the most important battles. Has gone into bad business with the university. Has gone into bad business endorsing failure products. Shit happens. The economy goes down. Products don't sell. business goes down. All I can tell you is that a lot of rich people, millionaires, billionaires, have gone bankrupt and have never to be seen again because they failed. But where others fail, President Trump has always come on top. Which, by the way, I believe that he's going to make a new archway called the Trump, called Trump's Archway. I don't know what the rest of the name is, but I think it's going to be fantastic. I believe it was already approved, so we can't wait. Absolutely, 100% I support President Donald J. Trump. Now, let's go ahead and travel back a little bit and point out that Democrats have been saying from day one, as a matter of fact, not even from day one, from minutes 12, from 12 minutes of President Trump being in office, they wanted to impeach him. Everybody comes in here from the left. They think we forget. But everybody from the left likes to come in here. They like to troll my channel. And the one thing, when they can't argue with me, is they always say one thing. January 6th. And I said, what about it? That makes us even. You remember January 6th? January 10th, 20th, February, March, April of 2017? May, June, July, 2018, 2019, 2020. You remember all those 4 years where you losers that lost kept destroying our cities, mom and pop shops. You were destroying our towns, all in the name of the hate of Trump. You did not care about the black community because you hated Trump more than you care. You don't care, but you hated Trump more than you care about the communities. And that's a fact. It's a fact. And then CNN will come out there with the fire right behind them, a business burning down. It's mostly peaceful protest. Lie to you right there in front of your face. And then people, oh, January 6th. Shut the hell up. That pisses me off. The ignorance that I see in American people. And to be honest, it's not all American people. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. A lot of retarded people out there. Now, I know that this is just maybe like a theory, but I'm going to tell you something. COVID-19 was just a test. A test to see if what the Chinese can do works. And you don't even realize this. But China, right now, is working on a new mix. Mark my words. You will see it come to the United States of America. They have been trying to illegally bring these things through the airport, and they have been caught. And right now, China's laboratories are working overtime, creating the next virus to come and mess us up. I'm going to tell you this. I've seen a lot of retards in my life, but you cannot deny that after COVID-19, especially how fast they put those vaccine shots out there, it affected a lot of people mentally. A lot of people came out of COVID-19 mental. You understand? Mental. Look it up. We've always had retards. We've always had people that are a little bit slow, and it happens. It happens. But now it's like it's even crazy. It's crazier. Like there's no common sense. There's no common sense. The Democratic Party have left us a long time ago. A long time ago they left us. Very few of us Democrats have been siding with President Trump. Right now, listen, they don't even know what a woman is. They don't even know what that is. And they become justices in the Supreme Court. What? Are you kidding? You got congressmen that sleep with Chinese spies, and they stay Congress. They stay in office. How is that possible? Never mind that he has to, drop from the California governor race. Why is he still in Congress? Should have been fired a long time ago. Impeached and dropped. Like a dead goat. Gone. I don't know why she's still there. Ilhan Omar says that's President Trump is not my president. The president of Somalia is my president. What does that tell you? That tells me that her loyalty, her full jurisdiction comes from Somalia. She was the greatest supporter for USAID. Somalia's economy shattered when USAID was shut down by Doge. It's not coincidence. It's common sense. And they're so low IQ that they came out and they made it public. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's how low IQ those people are. And Ilhan Omar, she thinks she's very clever. She ain't clever at all. I can see right through her. None of the things that she says she can lie to me about. I know what we stand for in this country. And I remind you that President Trump has been trying to block Muslim countries from migrating to this country. And the leftists have gone crazy. And all these people, especially, I remember when Hawaii, the governor, a judge from Hawaii, changed that. And he allowed these Muslim countries to come into Hawaii. You know why? This is what he says, but this is what it is as well. And I will show you what it is. He says we cannot allow President Trump to infringe into the First Amendment, which is the freedom of religion. And I've been saying this over and over and over. A religion that says death to America does not belong in America. If you had a problem with annihilation of a whole civilization, you should have a problem with death to America. Doggone it, if you come in here and start talking shit about that and you don't condemn this whole death to America, you are an idiot. And I'm not saying that you're the most stupid person in the world, but in the words of the wise Senator Kennedy, you better hope the dumbest person in the world doesn't die. It's a fact. Here is the real reason why he said that. Because Hawaii sees a lot of Middle Eastern countries. A lot of Muslims come through Hawaii. And they bring a lot of money to Hawaii. That's the reason why he blocked President Trump. You remember when President Trump tried to block all Chinese people from coming here before COVID was getting out of hand? Every Democrat, oh my God, xenophobic. You guys are so retarded on the left. I don't know what the hell is going on. And then most of the leftards got the shot. They lost their damn minds. They lost their damn minds. They are crazy. Guys, listen, they put activist people in Congress. Activist people who allow evil Muslims to be in this country. How is it that we have a religion in our country telling us to our face what they are going to do and we do nothing about it? It's crazy. Absolutely insane. That, my friends, it's crazy. And the libtards, they're always going to say, oh my God, that's racist. Oh, that's so... Shut the hell up. Look who's telling you. A migrant. Native mixed with Spaniard. Who's telling you? We're descendants of slaves as well. So shut up, warhorse. You're a pussy horse is what you are. The mental illness that is in your brain, my friend, it's ridiculous. You got to go do something about it. Go see a shrink. Maybe that will help. But I'm telling you, you don't come over here and tell me I'm a racist. Are you stupid? My children are black. So what? Where do you get off? You don't know me and you're over here talking shit. And it's the same thing that people do to President Trump. They don't even know. They don't even know him, and they go out there and call him racist. They don't even know him. They don't know me, and they call me that. How stupid are they? You see what I'm saying? Like, what else can we do to help these people? Yeah. You know, the people that come in here and put taco on there, you guys are the stupidest people out there. You know why? Because it shows your hypocrisy. Every time you put a taco on there, shows how hypocritical you are. How much of a big hypocrite you are. First of all, you started hating on him and went off. All the leftist podcasters went off. Oh, my God, did you hear what President Trump says? Megyn Kelly, what the hell is he thinking? Tucker Carlson, oh, my God, you can't say that. Oh, you can't tell nothing to another religion, says the guy that's buying properties over there in a Muslim land. Right. Candace Owens, over there, destroyed by her own little theories. Became hateful to Israel. All of a sudden, her brain doesn't work. Let me guess. She took the COVID shot. Absolutely she did. You know what? All these people, they can have millions of people looking and watching their channels. They are influencers. And they will influence probably millions of rhinos. And I'm going to say this. I don't care if you're Republican or a Democrat. I need you to think for your country. Everything that President Trump is doing right now with the Strait of Hormuz is 100% legit. He is looking out for us, not for them, for us. And you should be supporting that. Now, if you don't support that, then you're anti-American. And if you are supporting the fake Democrats today, you are the problem in this country. You are the fear-mongers, and you are the biggest hypocrites because you guys have been the most violent people from day one that President Trump stepped foot in that office. The leftist mentality is the most violent mentality. And I've said this many, many times before. And it just happens to be in history. It is written in history. Not everybody goes this route, but it happens. It happens. Martin Luther King once walked and said to the people, don't make enemies of the very same white people that you will one day work next to. Very wise. Very wise. But a lot of people learn to play the victim card. A lot of people learn to say, I'm not good enough. They got to go call themselves kings and queens and all this bullshit, but they don't even believe it. All they do is become hateful and just hate the white man. Everything is the white man. Oh, no, the white man keeps us down. The white man keeps us in drugs. We get to become alcoholics because the white man. Oh, because of shut the hell up. As Morgan Freeman said in the movie Glory, no other person on this world has died and loved the black community like their own white people that they hate today. And what happened? They played the victim in racism. And now who are they? They're the ones that want to be supremacists. They want to be supremacists. But you know what? That doesn't exist. Everybody in America, if you want to say we're supremacists, everybody here in the United States of America is, because we are the most powerful country on earth. We have the most powerful military force on earth. If that makes us supremacist, then we are. But that's all of us. Brown, black, yellow, red. I don't even know why we have colors. I really don't know why we have colors. Remember when President Trump was saying, yeah, you know what? I am here to unite everybody. Because whether you're black, brown, white, it doesn't matter. We all bleed red. And the legacy media just watered that down until there was nothing to be said about Trump being for a united nation. And they continue to fearmonger and fearmonger. So now you have these racist people to where they used to be the victims, but now they are the bullies. See, the gay people, they were bullied in the 80s. So in the 90s, we said, wait a minute. No, you need to stop bullying the gays. They can have their life We just don't want him to tell us to live that life. And you know what happens? Now they're the bullies. LGBTQ are out there joining with Antifa, destroying businesses, hating Christians, burning down synagogues, burning down Christian temples. They're out there throwing piss at family gatherings when we're having a Christian concert out in the park. They have become the bullies. They have taken advantage of the Samaritan spirit, of the Christian spirit of this country, and now they are the same people that they were fighting against. And we cannot continue to support leaders that support that mentality. I don't care if you're black. You don't know me. You might think I'm white, but I don't care. You understand? You're a victim of your own self. You were not here during slavery. You don't know shit about slavery. You know stories, corrupted stories, hateful stories at that. It's crazy that I've been taught history by a black man, 67-year-old black man, telling me history when he lived in the slavery time still. That is crazy. That is crazy that people don't understand that. Listen, I'm very grateful for all the teachers that have gone and I have met in my life, that have been in my life, because they have taught me a lot. And a lot of people will say this, you know what, as a Hispanic, I can tell you this, I'm proud to be Latino. I love it. And when I see Mexicans for Trump and Latinos for Trump, I love all that. I love all that. But I don't believe we're any better than the people here in the States. I believe that we are all equal. And that's the thing that people forget. You know, they start fighting with a good cause, but then they forget the words of Martin Luther King. It's like, you cannot make enemies. You cannot be supremacist. You got to be equal in order for everybody to have the same opportunities. And then we have this thing where if you are a minority, you get to be put in front of the line. DEI, worst thing that we have ever come up with. That's why our government right now is shit, and we're drowning in it. Every single libtard that we have in Congress right now, in office, they are all DEI. They have all catered to the LGBTQ, and that is just sexual immorality. It is a perversive mentality. Yes, pedophiles are included in the LGBTQWI. You know the thing. It's crazy. It is crazy. I always thought that, people get put in office because they are the best they're the best person for the job. Apparently, I can go in there and say, hey, I'm black. I'm a black Native American. I can go in there and do a horrible job. Horrible job. As long as I say I'm black Native American. Isn't that crazy? Man, you can't with these people. It used to be that the teachers in school will tell you, hey, do you want to flip burgers for the rest of your life? No? Then go to college. Pay attention. Do your homework. Do this. Do that. You know what they do now? They drop out of high school because they want to smoke weed. They want to smoke weed and they want to drink 40s. They dropped out of high school and then they go and get a job flipping burgers. And then they demand that they get a professional, livable wages when they have failed society. Society hasn't failed them. They have failed society. And that is exactly why this country is suffering the way that it's suffering today. So yes, I support President Donald Trump 100%. 100%. I can't believe that President Trump at 81 years old has a better mentality than a 21-year-old today. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I am glad that my mother raised me right. I am glad that I found God because I was in the wrong path. I am very happy that Jesus Christ gave me a second chance. And that's a fact. For all the people that don't want to believe in God, that's fine. But don't ever go and question God. God, why do you let this happen? If you were real, this wouldn't happen. No. If you would have faith, if you would listen to God, there would be no violence in this world. But because there will always be people that listen to Satan, to listen to sexual immorality demons, they will continue to deny that God exists because they don't want to be held accountable. That is a fact. The only reason why you don't believe in God is because you don't want to be held accountable for the weakness that you have, for the sinful nature that you have. That's why you don't want to believe in God. But you know He's real. Everybody knows God is real. But you don't want to accept it because then you'll be forced to be held accountable. You will be held accountable. President Trump is the right man for the job. Right now, a lot of people on the left, oh, what happened? I thought it was just going to be a quick war. Nope. Listen, a lot of people from NATO, by the way, before we continue saying anything about NATO, let me remind you that we paid $980 billion, nearly $1 trillion, and the closest country that pays to us is $66 billion. Imagine that, first of all. Imagine you give me all this assistance. You give me all this money and you got my back and you know what I'm saying? You're taking care of me. And then all of a sudden, somebody has a problem with you and you tell me, hey, bro, come and have my back. Oh, that's your fight. No, man. I don't want to fight, bro. I don't want to get involved. Imagine, what would you do to me? How would you see me? What would you think? Of course I support President Trump and all the nasty things that he has to say to NATO. You know why? Because he has to say it. He has to say it. You got all these terrorists over there saying death to America, death to America, death to America. Doggone it, 47 years of death to America. Guess what? We're going to annihilate your whole civilization. Now what? Notice the difference. He didn't say death to Iran. That would mean the whole country. He meant the civilization of corrupted Islam. All this corrupted Ayatollah, all this terrorist Muslims. That is the civilization that he's trying to destroy completely. The only guy that I like in NATO is Mark. The second man, that guy is just, he's such a lovable guy. And I don't know if he's fake. But every time I listen to him, he's just so awesome. He's such a pleasure to hear him talk. And maybe he's too soft. I don't know. But I can tell you, man, I love Mark. I think he's doing a tremendous job. Unfortunately, he doesn't tell NATO what to do. Everybody has to vote. Everybody has to do what they got to do and what they feel is the right thing to do. It's that simple. But I support President Donald Trump 100%. Why does President Trump got to say all those nasty things? Because these people are nasty. It's crazy. We're about to make so much money you don't even know. We're about to make so much money you don't even know. Let me tell you something. I trust China about as far as I can throw my desk and computers and everything on it. They will have, listen, you think out of 1.5 billion, 1.5 billion people in China, you think they don't have people infiltrated here trying to tear us apart in Congress? Tell you, right? You think India with over 1.3 billion people as well don't have people over here trying to destroy it? You think that these guys are not working hard in Africa right now, hating all of the conservative podcasters? You know, giving this fake intel to CNN, AI bullcrap, and then you have all these big influencers. Let me tell you something. There is no coincidence why Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, who are the other two? Megyn Kelly, and then the guy that, the guy that talks like that all the time, you know what I mean? That guy, I forget his name. You guys know who he is. There's a reason why they attack those people. There's a reason why they get certain intel. They get told in a certain manner to where they get compromised. But see, they can't do that to me. I hate being manipulated. I hate being told what to do. If you give me the information, well, let me see it. All right, well, let me take a look at it. Well, you know what? That's not what I see. The first thing that I said when I said, okay, annihilation of a whole civilization. Okay, which one? Oh, okay, the bad terrorist Muslims. 100%. Get rid of them. Annihilate every single one of them. You know why? Because that's what they want to do to us. 9/11 is not a coincidence. Did we drop the ball? Sure, but that was not a coincidence. October 7th, not a coincidence. And now you have a mayor on the Socialist Democrat running with a jackass that said that October 7th was good. The raping of women and killing of innocent children is not a problem. And that is your Socialist Democrat mayor running for mayor. Socialist Democrat Mandani. He allows hundreds of thousands now of Muslims to pray on the street. When has he allowed Christians to do that? When has he allowed us to put a loudspeaker at 5 in the morning and worship? My God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above. He reigns. Huh? How many times have they allowed us to do that? How many times did they try to take the word God out of school? They did. They did. They put an LGBTQ rainbow flag from Lucifer in our schools and don't wave the American flag? They allow Muslims to pray in school, but Christians are the bad ones? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? That's an awesome song, bro. I wish I can play it. I don't have the rights to it. But it's a fantastic song. I know a lot of very spiritual songs in Spanish that will melt your heart. Beautiful. It's just when you surrender yourself to God, it's just an amazing thing to happen. And I'm not going to say President Trump is perfect. Please. He's not perfect. But I support him 100%. 100%. Because I know that what he's doing is the right thing. China right now is check. Right now is checkmate for China. Checkmate. The moment that we move, we're done. The moment that we move, we're done. Russia. What did Russia do when the UK said, oh, wait a minute, you're taking a an oil tanker out of there and you're escorting it with your Russian Navy? We're going to go out there and we're going to do something. Putin said, up yours, buddy. Do it. He said, do it. You know what we're doing tomorrow? President Trump says that we are going to block it. We're going to block the Strait of Hormuz. And we're going to put our Navy there. You know what Putin said? Okay. Yeah. I guess that's the good thing. That's the right thing to do, Trump. That's the right thing to do, Trump. Oh, man. You know what, though? Hey, listen, enough about me. I can go on for years. There's so much to talk about. So much truth out there. About 50% of the people that come through my channel are brand new, so they haven't heard me say anything from before. And I can tell you there's a lot of reasons why I support President Donald J. Trump. Why don't we go ahead and change gears here a little bit, and let's start watching some videos that I want to share here with you that I got selected so that I can share with you. We'll close that window. And I mentioned Swalwell. Well, why don't we go ahead and listen to something about Swalwell?
Breaking news as we come on the air. In the California governor's race, Congressman Eric Swalwell is suspending his campaign amid allegations of sexual assault by a former staff member. In an announcement just posted on his social media page, Swalwell writes, quote, To my family, staff, friends, and supporters, I am deeply sorry for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made, but that's my fight, not a campaign's.
That ends only part of Swalwell's mounting troubles. A growing number of his Democratic colleagues are calling for him to resign from Congress, which is back in session tomorrow. And the district attorney in New York is opening a criminal investigation into the allegations made against him. We will continue to follow any more developments in this story and report them to you as they come in.
Our political reporter Josh Haskell is on the phone with this breaking news. He's been following this governor's race closely. So, Josh, what does this mean immediately?
Well, Liz, this has completely upended the California governor's race, affecting not just the Democrats in the race, but also the Republicans. As you know, that the top two finishers will move on past June. And Eric Swalwell, he was the front runner for the Democrats in this race. In some of the polls, you saw Tom Steyer was making some movement, Katie Porter, but it was really Swalwell consistently that was at the top. He is no longer in this race. Of course, he is still in Congress, so questions do remain as far as will he resign from Congress. There's votes being discussed to expel him from Congress and other members of Congress, so we'll have to watch that closely. But as far as the governor's race goes, it is going to be a fascinating week. I can tell you that campaigns are already reaching out to me with endorsements. Obviously, we know that Swalwell had a lot of big endorsements in this race and a lot of support from a lot of unions in the state that have a lot of money, including the Teachers Union and SEIU California. And now big questions remain, Liz and Jory. Where does that money go? I know that one representative has already switched their endorsement from Swalwell to Tom Steyer, and so the Steyer campaign reached out to me about 20 minutes ago wanting to talk about that. And so we're just going to see a lot of movement, and it also really opens the race for possibly someone like Matt Mahan or even Katie.
You know what's sad? It's to see his family. That right there. That should bother you. You know, this guy, he went off on Trump so many times. He's the devil. He's bad, bad. Oh, dead, what I tell you is stop judging people because nobody's perfect. And most of the people that go out hardcore and judge others is because they have their skeletons in their closet. And that haunts them. And they think that by switching or shifting the blame to somebody else, that somehow they will be looked at as a good person. He made an apology video. Look at his daughter. Look at his son, his wife. He made an apology video, and he said that he didn't do anything illegal, but he didn't say that he slept with these women. He cheated on his wife. Where's the leftards? Where's all the leftist people saying, oh, Swalwell, oh, you know, he cheated on his wife? Go ahead and bring up his personal issues like you do with President Trump. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like you become this hypocritical person, and you should really be careful with your words. You should really be careful with your words. Like if I say something to you, if I say that you're retarded, it's because you show me that you are. But if I just say liptards and nobody shows up, okay, there's no liptards in here. But the moment I say liptards and you start insulting me, it's like, okay, I guess we do have some liptards in here. And this is how you guys come out in the open. But that's crazy. That is crazy. And then he was saying that he was going to fight it. He was going to fight it. He says, I'm not going to give up. Oh, don't worry. Don't listen to them, guys. It's a lies. I'm going to continue to run because I know who I am. And now he says, I am dropping out of this race. Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody dropped the ball.
The Teachers Union and SEIU California, and now big questions remain, Liz and Jory. Where does that money go? I know that one representative has already switched their endorsement from Swalwell to Tom Steyer, and so the Steyer campaign reached out to me about 20 minutes ago wanting to talk about that. And so we're just going to see a lot of movement. And it also really opens the race.
Well,
CNN has new
possibly
exclusive.
someone like Matt Mahan or even Katie Porter.
Right. Well, there was concern on the Democratic side that there were too many Democrats in the field, and it could wind up being 2 Republicans on the ballot in a runoff in November. Ironically, could this actually help Democrats to have one of the frontrunners drop out and consolidate some of the vote on the Democratic side?
Without a doubt, but you still have the same problem. There are still, according to Democrats in California, too many Democrats in this race. You still have 7 big-name Democrats. You still have Democrats like Tony Thurmond, Betty Yee that have been polling very low. Tony Thurmond at 1%. You also have Antonio Villaraigosa, Javier Becerra polling towards the bottom in this race. They are all on the ballot. They are committed to staying in. And so you're still going to run into that issue of, well, will a Republican move on? Could 2 Republicans move on? But I think what this really does is, where will Swalwell's support go? And I think you're going to see every Democrat in the race, even those low-polling Democrats, fight for those votes, fight for those endorsements, and fight for that money, because there's a lot of money in California politics, and big-name Democrats, and those that were supporting Swalwell now need to find somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
And Josh, as Jory had mentioned at the top of the hour, this is just part of Swalwell's issue right now. Congress heads back tomorrow. Do we have any?
Isn't it hypocritical from the leftists? This is a guy that slept with a Chinese spy, cheated on his wife many times with the staff. The staff turned on him, thinking that you have to understand something. Victims, and I'm going to play a take from CNN. Okay, I'm going to play a take from CNN. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll try to find the right clips on the video itself. I know I got to trim some hairs on my nose, guys. That's why I'm always itching my nose. I hate that. I have a very sensitive nose. But I want you to listen to, this is one of the alleged victims, right? And I'm not going to say that Swalwell is guilty, but we're going to judge him the same way that he judged President Trump. And the way he judges everybody else, Pete Hegseth, etc. Listen to this one of the victims that's coming on for this.
I shouldn't have reached out to him at all. I should have left. I should have done this. Well, Eric shouldn't have raped me.
This Capitol Hill staffer is coming forward for the first time on camera to talk about her experience with Congressman Eric Swalwell. He is now a leading Democratic candidate for governor of California.
Let's get together, make the biggest wave this state has ever seen.
Swalwell was in his late 30s.
The wave, boink. A little splash with a pebble in the river. Boink. Making a big blue wave of corruption.
And married when she joined his office as an intern and became a junior staffer. She's speaking in shadow as she fears professional consequences.
It was in 2019. I was, again, driving him to an event. This was my job.
And you were 21 years old.
And I was 21 years old. We see some sort of...
Hey, what happened to protecting women? All you people, you see how they turned on us, guys? You see how they said that? Oh, Epstein files. All those women deserve justice. And not one of them actually has a proof or accusation against President Trump. But the leftist people are always going out there against President Trump and his Epstein files. But here we are with an actual victim and multiple more that have come actually naming Swalwell, direct contact, directly out of the open. And there is witnesses. There is a mother involved in this. There is all the staff that has seen this happen. Oh, my goodness. Right now, I'm going to tell you right now, they should just stay quiet. Don't even mention the Epstein files to me right now. Because you just said she's lying. Wait a minute. What happened to protecting women from predators like Swalwell? You see what I'm saying? Hey, no. You got to call it like it is. I want you to take this moment from CNN. CNN, bringing the truth. Here we go.
Parking lot, and he says to pull over. He pulls out his penis.
Whoa.
And instructs me to give him oral sex. And I started to. Again, I felt incredibly uncomfortable. And I stopped and I said to him, this feels really uncomfortable and anyone could see us right now. And he said to me, you're right. It's probably not good for a congressman to be caught with his pants down.
Swalwell calls her allegations false. His campaign responded earlier to vague accusations on social media related to his behavior with staffers.
Did you ever behave inappropriately with female staffers?
No, it's false. And also, some of the allegations I've seen, which is that we've had NDAs in the office. There's never been an allegation, and there's never been a settlement. And I will also just take stock that look, we're 27 days before, and
look at that puppy face. He knows he's screwed. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? Karma's a bitch.
An election starts.
Did he ask you to send him lewd photos?
Yes.
And did he ever send lewd photos?
Yes. He would send short Snapchat videos of him rubbing his penis through his pants while on the airplane.
The staffer says she liked Swalwell's attention at first.
You know what's crazy? There is a merengue singer from Peru. His name is Elvis Crespo. He was caught playing with the monkey on the plane, and he actually was taken to jail. This guy didn't get caught.
And nervously went along with it, which included sending back nude photos of herself. But in September 2019, she says she and some friends met up with Swalwell. After a night of heavy drinking, she says she woke up naked with Swalwell in a hotel room with no memory.
Now, listen, I'm going to say this, and I know a lot of people out there are going to talk about it and say, hey, you know what? It was her fault for drinking. Well, that's not true. That is not true. Listen, I have gone out with friends, and we have always taken care of females. We do not do anything if somebody's getting drunk, period. Nothing. So normally we'll call a taxi. Well, now they're Ubers, but that's what we would do. Either we'll take them home to their house, not ours, or we'll call somebody to come and get them, but they will not drive if they're drinking. And a lot of people, they take advantage of drunk people. Some women, but mostly men, take advantage of drunken women. And you guys know how it works. All I can tell you is that sometimes victims, from what I've seen, sometimes victims are so ashamed of what has happened to them that they continue to have this communication and interaction with their perpetrators. And I think that's the word, right? And they just don't know how to get out of it. They find that nobody cares, nobody's there to have their back, they're alone in this world, and you got all these fake movements to protect women, but when it comes to really protecting women, nobody really wants to step up unless they hate the guy that they're trying to destroy with his allegations. And the problem here is that there is actually not just her, but there's other staff females. And then even they witness, like the mother, is involved, and he can't wash this off. I know that his lawyer tried to defend them as much as he could, and he already tried to intimidate them to tell them not to continue with this, or they will go to court, and that he was just going to take them down. Wait, listen, you don't threaten them. You try to communicate with them and see where you can work with them, but you don't tell them, you better drop this down or we will see you in court. What kind of a man is that? But anyways, listen to her testimony.
Memory of what happened.
The 5 of us were having some drinks. At some point, it was time to go home. I got in an Uber. I was taken to the Aloft Dublin Pleasanton where he was staying. And I don't remember what happened that night. But I know that there was sexual contact. Because when I woke up in the morning, I could feel that there was. And
the difference is nobody is alleging that against Trump. Nobody. So I said, don't bring up the Epstein files because you guys are being hypocrites. Don't compare this to Epstein files, please. Please. Please tell me you have some brains. So don't mention the Epstein files because you're over here saying that she's lying. Well, well, well. Isn't that something?
And he said as much, too.
What did he say?
That last night was great. It didn't feel great to me because I didn't remember it.
And so you blacked out and you end up in his hotel room and wake up with him.
Yes.
She says another incident occurred in 2024 after this event in New York, where Swalwell gave a speech.
Some of us are working hard on Capitol Hill.
At the time, she no longer worked for Swalwell's office.
I decided to ask him to meet me for a drink. And I did this because I was so far removed from what had happened in 2019. I felt safe because I was established. I had a partner. I felt more secure that I could have a strictly professional relationship with this person. After that bar closed, we went to another. I went to the bathroom and I don't remember anything after that.
You don't remember anything?
I remember the next day. I can see flashes of that evening, of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me. It was a lot more aggressive. It was aggressive.
Did you say no?
Yes, I said no. In my flash that I can recall, I was pushing him off of me saying no.
And what did he do?
He didn't stop.
He didn't stop. And you woke up the next morning.
I woke up the next morning.
I'm sure Swalwell was thinking about his lovely wife when he was doing that.
Naked, alone in his hotel room. I, for a moment, didn't even know I was in his hotel room. That's how intoxicated I was. And I called my mom, the only person I could think that could help me.
Her mother confirmed her account in an interview with CNN.
Even the mother confirmed that account. How about that? The mother, witness of what happened.
Also reviewed screenshots of texts she sent to a friend saying she was, quote, sexually assaulted by Eric. She also shared this note from a physician's assistant calling her a, quote, survivor after she went to get tested for STDs 1 week later.
Why do you feel like it's so important to speak out now?
When I found out there were others who might have been impacted by Eric in different ways, I realized I couldn't be scared anymore because that is how he keeps us quiet. The fear.
Mikey, no, that's not her fault for being intoxicated. That sounds like a rapist to me. I wouldn't take advantage of a woman for being that drunk. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you?
The shame.
In addition to this former staffer, 3 other women who spoke with CNN also alleged sexual misconduct by Swalwell. One said he kissed her and touched her without her consent. 2 of the women said he sent them unsolicited explicit messages or nude images of himself, something the others say Swalwell did with them as well. One shared this message where he commented on her photo and wrote, quote, that swimsuit, with an expletive. You like it? She responded. Yes. Very much like, he wrote. In a statement to CNN, Swalwell said, quote, these allegations are false and come on the eve of an election against the frontrunner for governor. For nearly 20 years, I have served the public as a prosecutor and a congressman and have always protected women.
There is another me out there. There is another young girl who dreams of working in this field and believes in him and could fall into this trap.
And that's why you're speaking out.
Yeah.
You want to protect others like you when you were young.
No one protected me. Sorry. No one protected me, and I don't want someone else to suffer because I know what I know.
Somebody says no. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of it. She says no, you got to stop. Otherwise, a rape. Doesn't matter if she started with consent. Once she says stop, you got to stop. He's a rapist. And he took advantage of her. multiple times, getting her drunk. And a respected gentleman would have probably just said, hey, listen, don't drink too much. But he knew the end game. Let's not play stupid. Most of the leftist guys in here, hating my hat specifically, they jump at an opportunity to take advantage of a drunk woman. I know a lot of illegal immigrants that have done that. And believe me, I have fought them for trying to do it while I was there. So yes, you can go ahead and say whatever you want, but there's still a lot of men out there that believe on respecting women. I've been called gay. I was called gay. One time I tried to date a girl. I thought she was beautiful. She was hot. She was sexy. Everything was great. And then we went to her apartment because she said that she was in the middle of painting something. So I figured, maybe I can give her a hand and I can earn her favor. And she called me in the bedroom and she was, just the way that she was born. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said I can come in. And she's like, yeah, come on in here, you fool. And I said, oh, no. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I got to go. She yelled at me instead of, seeing that I respect her, that I don't want to use her just for, a night of meat pleasure. She said I was gay because I didn't do anything. But you know what? I don't care. I know who I am. I know where I stand, and this is why I never have to pretend to be something that I'm not. I am always me. And so if the way that I talk offends you, I am always me. And that's the way that I talk to. Unless, you learn to talk to me and that I can see how you are as a person, then I will change a way that I address myself with you. But, you keep doing this fight and this and that, you're going to get that really, really bad side of me. And so, I still believe to this day, respect women, okay? And respect our children. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable the amount of people from the left that come into my channel and talk about that I'm over here defending a pedophile, President Trump, with just allegations. But yet they defend a whole religion that allows the men to get married to a 9-year-old girl, prepubescent child, a prepubescent child. The Muslim religion allows you to marry a child as a grown-ass man, and you can be 50, 60, 70 years old. The hypocrisy is beyond belief. It's crazy. I see you, Güero. So don't sit there and come over and judge me for defending President Trump. If his wife believes him and she's still with him, Christ forgives him, so do I. But don't play dumb games. He was not convicted. We'll see what happens to Swalwell. Right now, they're just allegations, but there's some serious allegations. You see what I'm saying? So there's serious allegations, and if he gets convicted, then we'll call it what it is. But until then, it's just an allegation. Even though I believe her, it's just an allegation. Let's go ahead and skip forward to this questioning right here. I am withdrawing my endorsement immediately, says Senator Adam Schiff. Immediately, and believe that he should withdraw from the race. Shifty shift. Imagine that. This is the guy that lies for a living. And even he knows to stay away from this predator. Imagine that. Yeah, well, God forgives him, I guess. I forgive him as well. Why not? This is part of our society. I forgive Swalwell, but, there's nothing to forgive President Trump over with allegations. If it's proven that President Trump did that by an actual witness saying, yeah, he did this, it is what it is. I forgive him, but he still needs to go to jail. That is a punishment. So I'll forgive Swalwell if he repents, I guess. I don't even have to forgive him. I got nothing to forgive him for. But I'm just saying that, yeah, we can forgive. Why can't we forgive? Aren't you judging him? Shouldn't you forgive him? If I judge President Trump because of something that I heard, I got to forgive him because that's how I forgive myself. So don't play tricks. Don't play mind games with me because you're going to lose. Every time you play a mind game with me, you're going to lose. All right, let's take a listen to this questioning.
Race.
Congressman Swalwell's attorney, Elias Dubai, joins us live now from Los Angeles exclusively. Thank you so much for joining us. CNN gave Congressman Swalwell multiple opportunities to respond on camera to Pamela's reporting. I invited him to join us live tonight. He just posted that video online. But why won't he join us to answer the questions directly?
Well, let me start by telling you that we take these allegations very seriously. The congressman categorically denies any misconduct took place, and we intend to vindicate his rights in court.
So when you say that you take them seriously, are you suggesting, and what he just said there was that he made mistakes between me and my wife, I apologize to her deeply. Is he saying that he cheated on his wife but didn't do anything illegal?
I'm not going to get into the details of that. Our investigation is on.
Ha! Busted, lawyer. You can say whatever you want. Did you guys catch that? Let me play it again. Got him.
Reporting. I invited him to join us live tonight. He just posted that video online. But why won't he join us to answer?
All right, listen, pay attention.
The questions directly.
Well, let me start by telling you that we take these allegations very seriously. The congressman categorically denies any misconduct took place, and we intend to vindicate his rights in court.
So when you say that you take them seriously, are you suggesting, and what he just said there was that he made mistakes between me and my wife, I apologize to her deeply. Is he saying that he cheated on his wife?
He apologized to his wife deeply, meaning he did have sex with this woman. Period. Something Trump didn't do. Something Trump, when he had his wife next to him, he said, I don't even apologize to my wife because it's not true. Damn! Look at the lawyer. You lost, sucker. He's screwed. And he's saying that he doesn't want him to drop off the race. He's the one that sent the letter to these women, tell him to drop it, or that he was going to take them to court. That's an intimidation tactic. If I knew one myself, he's screwed.
But didn't do anything illegal?
I'm not going to get into the details of that. Our investigation is ongoing. A lot of it is privileged. But I can tell you based on the video.
Guys, this is supposed to be a lawyer, and I'm smarter than he is. He might not law more than I do, but I know that he's lying. He's covering a lie.
That you just played, the congressman takes accountability for potential lapses in judgment, but again, categorically denies any wrongdoing.
Of course he does.
So your investigation is ongoing. Why isn't he here, though, to answer those questions? You didn't answer that question. Why isn't he putting himself out there to answer the questions directly?
Yeah, why?
Well, he has a campaign to run. He's busy. He's taking these allegations.
Not anymore. Now he can come and answer some questions. Oh, man, that's fantastic.
Seriously. And again, as he told you in that video, he's spending time with his family and his wife and his friends. And
you bet he wants to spend time with his family and his wife, because now he's going to feel very alone. Only his wife that loves him can really put up with his ass. You know what? This is why I actually appreciate my wife. This is why I will never cheat on her. This is why I will never cheat on my children, because I need them in my life. They mean everything to me. That's something that a lot of husbands out there can't say. And I know that there's a lot of husbands that agree with me. You know, hey, listen, let me tell you something. Okay, I don't have the body I used to have 20 years ago. Okay, I'm not the ripped guy that I used to be, really ripped. Okay, but I can tell you this. I found a woman that actually loves me. A woman with a good heart. A woman that feels the same way that I do about people. Somebody that can have my back on the things that I feel are important in my life. Everything that I do for in my life right now, everything that I do it with the hopes that before God takes me from this earth, that before I die, I can leave them something behind so they don't have to struggle while I'm gone. And that, my friends, is something that a lot of us men do for our wives. You might think, oh, she doesn't look like she did 16 years ago when you married her. I think she looks more beautiful now. The older we get, the more prettier she looks to me. The more I want to be with her. The less I see females out there, they can have a nice body and everything, but I can tell you, my wife is the best for me. And that's the only person I want to be with. And that, my friends, it's something special that Eric Swalwell did not think about or had. Had a great wife, got some great kids, and he decided to go out there and play hide the monkey, thinking nobody was going to find out. Well, he's going to pay for the consequences. Again, these are allegations, so I'm going to hold my tongue and wait to see what happens later. But I can tell you, he admitted that he slept with those women. And that's not a false accusation. It's not a false testimony. That is something that he says, and he apologized to his wife for.
That's his choice.
So there are now 4 different women who accuse Congressman Swalwell of sexual misconduct. Is your position that all of them are lying?
Look, as an attorney, I look at credibility, I look at motive, and I have to question the timing of these allegations 25 days out from an election. Many of these allegations are from women who claim that the wrongdoing took place many years ago. And in those years, the evidence I've seen demonstrates that these women, certain of them, have reached out to the congressman on multiple occasions, wishing him nothing but the best, supporting his campaign, saying that they'd vote for him for governor, asking for references for jobs, attending social events with him. So from my perspective, looking at the facts, I do have to question the credibility of these allegations.
So he just said that they're not credible. You see that? He has to question the credibility of them. That's okay. He's a lawyer. He's supposed to say those things, right? But we're not fools.
That there's a long history and a lot of evidence of sexual assault experts who say that the victims often go back to the perpetrators, and that is frequently a thing. So just because they went back and continued a relationship with him, everything they're saying is not true?
Wow. Man, kudos to this guy. This guy was ready for this interview. See, you don't get to see this questioning this often, heartfelt from CNN. But this guy, he's on it, man. He is on it.
I'm telling you that I'm assessing the credibility of the claims that are being made, the timing of the allegations, and it raises eyebrows.
But there is evidence. I mean, in Pam's piece, she showed a note from a physician's assistant that called her a survivor. She had an STD pregnancy testing. We talked to family and friends she confided in. We saw text messages from the time. That was way before he was running for governor, at a time when she believed in him as a candidate and as a congressperson.
I'd prefer not to get
into those.
That
That
was
was all
all
cooked up years ago?
I'd prefer not to get into those details at this time, but I can say that those text messages were sent by someone who was in a relationship at the time and may have had her own motives.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
The investigation is ongoing, and I do plan on vindicating the congressman's rights.
So the Democratic leader of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, is calling for a swift investigation in the House, where the congressman is still a member. Is Congressman Swalwell prepared to testify under oath that he never had sexual relations with any staffer?
Tony, I told you, he's a lawyer, but I'm smarter than this guy. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm sure he's making a lot of money. I'll tell you, I know he's making a lot of money. But it's all about the paper that tells them that he is a lawyer.
That's something that we have not looked at yet. I'm hearing this now for the first time, and I'm not prepared to give you a response.
So he is not prepared to testify under oath before a House Ethics Commission.
That's not what I said. I said I have not discussed that.
So he's willing to testify under.
I didn't say either one of those. I said that I have not discussed that with the congressman.
Just say I will neither confirm nor deny.
and that's something that we will look at.
Busted.
So there is a growing list of Swalwell's friends and colleagues who had endorsed him for governor, but now say that they are pulling their endorsement. That includes Congressman Jimmy Gomez and Senator Adam Schiff, who were campaign co-chairs. They now say he should drop out. Is Eric Swalwell still running for governor of California tonight?
As of this moment, yes, he is. He intends to continue his campaign. Yes, very much so. The notion that all these people, the notion that all these people pulled their support, I suspect that there are political machinations behind the scenes explaining why the Democratic Party has decided to try to consolidate the vote in order to make sure that a Democratic candidate makes it past the primary. So I'm not surprised to see that.
That doesn't make any sense. That's one thing if we're talking about the candidates that are running against him. These are people who endorsed him. These are some of his best friends in Congress. Ruben Gallego, one of his closest friends. Jimmy Gomez, who he asked to chair the campaign. People who have made commercials for him saying go out and vote for him. They are now saying on the record that he should drop out. Many of them saying they believe the women, not him. I mean, why are they all lying? What is their motivation in this? And why is he not listening to his best friends in Congress?
People are free to make their choices. I think that this might be an example of a rush to judgment. We have not seen any evidence to support these allegations, and people are rushing to judgment. That's their choice.
Why have none of Swalwell's closest allies come out tonight to back him up?
It's early in the night. That might change.
So Swalwell said to at least one of the women that he wanted to take their conversations to Snapchat. Why? Why would he want to communicate with disappearing messages with younger individuals that he's interacting with in a professional capacity?
Well, I haven't seen any evidence that ever took place.
Well, okay. Hopefully we can provide that to you.
Well, he says the things that a lawyer has to say. I'll give him credit for that. But, well, Swalwell. Okay, guys, I think it's time for a little lesson here in history. Don't worry, we'll be brief. We'll be brief. Here we go. This is for those people that don't know why we call it the Gulf of America today. I'm about to say the Gulf of Honduras. We do have a Gulf in Honduras, but it's not this Gulf. So, here we go. Back in the Gulf of Mexico, Golfo de Mexico, French Golfe de Mexique. Later, Gulf de Mexico first appeared on a world map in 1550s by the colonizers Spaniards. Isn't that crazy? That's fantastic. Let's see. Among other languages of Mexico, the Gulf is known as Ayoloco, Mexico in Tuatl, Golfo Mexico in Yucatec Maya, and Golfo Yu'un Mexico in Tzotzil. Although there is no formal protocol on the general naming of international waters, Gulf of Mexico is officially recognized by International Hydrographic Organization, which seeks to standardize the names of international maritime features for certain purposes and counts all three countries adjacent to the Gulf as member states. On January 2025, Executive Order, United States President Donald Trump directed federal agencies to adopt the name Gulf of America for the waters bounded by the U.S. 25, 26, 27, the change 31, 32, 33, but it also stoked controversy with the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum. It doesn't matter what she says. It's still the Gulf of America because, as I explained it earlier today, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona belongs to the United States of America and no longer is Mexican territory. And that's why, my friends, the real name of the Gulf is not Mexico. It is now America. God bless America. A February 2025 poll by Marquette University found that 1,018 respondents across the U.S., 71% opposed renaming the Gulf of Mexico, and 29% named the group name change. A line joining Cape Catoche Light, blah, 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 with the light of Cape San Antonio in Cuba through this island of the Meridian, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. The Gulf of Mexico took shape about 300 million years ago as a result of platonics. It now belongs to America. Get over it. Here we go. Let's go ahead and Google Gulf of Mexico. Now, I like to Google Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a listen. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Images. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Maps. Gulf of Mexico. Look at that, guys. There's a Gulf of Mexico in Florida. Hey, there is your consolation prize right there. Gulf of Mexico in Florida. Let's see what it's actually called. Maybe they changed it back. Maybe they changed it back to Mexico. Nope. I guess it's still Gulf of America. Yeah. It is what it is. Gulf of America. That's why this hat is fantastic. This hat is fantastic. So, changing gears here, let's go from a perverted swell whale, which, by the way, listen, karma's a bitch, and swell whale has been stepping on doo-doo by making all these false accusations against President Trump. And, well, now he's in the receiving end of it. And, oh, boy, this ain't no fake Epstein Island papers with, swell whales thousands of times being mentioned. But there is 5 women that corroborate the same story of rape and sexual harassment. You know what? That actually makes sense because everybody in Congress voted against releasing publicly all the sexual harassment lawsuits against congressmen. Well, now we know what these congressmen, dirty men, were over here hiding. How dare they? Now, I'm going to go ahead and play, say that this type of, okay. I'm going to play a clip from, what happened? Where did my clip go? Let's see. I had it ready for you guys. Oh, man, now I lost it. Doggone it. Don't worry. I'll find it. I'll find it back. No.
This video.
Hold on. Not you. Where is my POTUS? Maybe it's in the White House. Maybe the White House has the clip. I think this is April 11th. Today's the 12th. Man, there was one where he was actually talking on his way out. Maybe on the live, maybe. Huh. I was going to play to you the updates from Vice President Vance, but it sucked. There's not much information on there. I tell you that right now. Let me see. Where did it go? Anyways, President Trump is saying that 10 a.m. tomorrow, they're going to start doing the blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. We'll see how that goes. But I'm really curious about what's going on here. It looks like, let me see, how long is this? 5, 8. Okay, let's do this one first. This one is dishonest campaign. Former Virginia AG denounces redistricting. Here we go. Let's see what's going on here.
No to this totally scandalous, unlawful, unconstitutional, Democrat gerrymandering scheme that they're trying to push upon this state, you get to say no. You also have the power to say no to Abigail Spanberger's charade. Okay, can I call it something charitable, Governor? She talks like a moderate and she governs like a Marxist.
All eyes on Virginia right now ahead of the April 21st redistricting referendum.
Now listen, if you're a leftist and you're watching me right now, I want you to don't take this personal. I want you to take this with a grain of salt, okay? Don't take it personally. I have been telling you, these socialist Democrats, the new socialism is Marxist, communist, socialist, all combined into one belief. That is the new ideology. That is the new socialist Democrat that you see today. And this just proves it to you right there. He just said that she runs like this, but she's actually that. That's just how it is. There is Democrats running as Republicans. Imagine that. They're running as Republicans, but they're actually socialist Democrats. That is crazy that this kind of stuff is being allowed.
A Democrat-led effort to redraw the state maps before the midterms. If they are successful, Democrats could soon hold a 10-1 majority, so it's a big deal. For more, I'm joined by former Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares, who right now is at one of those rallies that Republicans are holding against the referendum. Jason, great to have you on the program.
It is awesome to be with you. Thank you so much for having me.
So Democrats are saying, look, we're just fighting back Republicans. Republicans are trying to do the same thing in states like Texas. They're trying to change the shape of the maps in those states. So this is us just fighting back. So make the case why voters in Virginia should vote no on this referendum.
Well, even the Washington Post says the Yes campaign is running a brazenly dishonest campaign. It wasn't Texas that started mid-decade redistricting. It was New York. New York did it in 2024. They gerrymandered some Republicans out of their seats. But listen, in Virginia, we have something, whether it's New York, California, or Texas, that they don't have. We already have a constitutional amendment that Virginia voters passed by a 30-point margin saying no, politicians shouldn't be gerrymandering these maps. And what they're trying to do is silence the voice and disenfranchise millions of Virginia voters. They're putting the Shenandoah Valley into 4 congressional districts. They're taking a district in Hampton Roads, Virginia, putting it in Northern Virginia. They're trying to create a map in which you could have 5 congressmen that live within 12 miles of each other in Northern Virginia. Wow. 48.5% of Virginians voted for a Republican to represent them in Congress. This would leave them with 9% of the representation. That's not fair. And it doesn't matter whether you're a passionate conservative or a passionate liberal. When you're deciding you want to disenfranchise your neighbor's voice, you're losing something. In Virginia, we don't follow, we lead. We need to say no and vote no by April 21st.
Well, it seems like this has the potential to pass, Jason. I want to put up this brand new poll from the Washington Post on this referendum. And right now, 53% of likely voters are a yes on this, 52% registered voters, as opposed to 44 and 47% who are against this referendum. It surprises me because the job performance poll on the newly elected Democratic Governor Abigail Spanberger, isn't going so well. Here's the poll here. Again, a Washington Post poll, Jason. 47% of folks in Virginia approve of her job. 46% disapprove. So what's going on here?
Well, listen, they're running a dishonest campaign by claiming this is temporary, this is about fairness. They're not showing people the map. They're not saying a yes vote, literally disenfranchise millions of Virginians. But this is also a reaction, even though we've been heavily outspent, this is a toss-up election, on Abigail Spanberger. I'm still waiting for the moderate Abigail Spanberger to make an appearance in Richmond, Virginia, because in August of 25, when she was candidate, she said she had no plans to do gerrymandering or redistricting. And just 4 months later, the very first bill she signed into law was this monstrosity of a 10-1 map that disenfranchises rural Virginians, Hampton Roads, and just good government Virginians. And so her approval rating, she is the lowest rated governor in modern Virginia history for a reason, because she's governor bait and switch. She told voters one thing, she's done the opposite, and gerrymandering is just one more example. So we love.
And she's not celebrating that she won. She's celebrating that she freaking lied to the people and actually won by lying to the people. That's crazy. And people want to come over here and say, oh, blue wave, midterms, screw Trump. No, you're saying screw us. Screw America. Screw the United States of America. You're supporting liars. You're supporting this politicians that only get into office so that they can commit fraud. You guys, you gotta tell your lip-tard friends, man. They gotta stop thinking like just dummies that are just, oh, you know what? I hate Trump. Oh, okay. You know, everything bad that Democrats are doing right now. They are all socialist Democrats, by the way. They fight themselves from 10, 15 years ago with themselves today. I can tell you right now, everybody, every corrupted politician, they all do the same thing, man. If I compare Washington with Oregon and I compare Oregon with California, they all do the same thing on different levels because of the economy, and each state is different. But it's the same playbook. Fraud, 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 illegal immigrants, and more fraud. And deny it until you can't deny it anymore and then find something else to do. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. So this lady going crazy over here lying to you and you're still voting for her, I just don't know why you will continue to do that. All right, let me go ahead and bring in this, changing gears a little bit. I want to know what's going on here. I don't know what DeSantis is going on about, but he's very sad about something. Let me hear what this is. You may have seen this already, but I haven't. Let's take a listen.
Later today. So I don't think I have to let anybody know that we have some problems in this country, more than we should, with international terrorism. You just had this incident at Old Dominion University. Guy commits a terrorist attack. He's shouting Allahu Akbar. The media acts like they don't know the motive of that when he's doing it, but he had been somebody that had already been convicted of material support to terrorism. He was a citizen, but he was a naturalized citizen. And a lot of us are looking about that. It's like, okay, wait a minute. You come to this country, you get natural. You probably shouldn't have been allowed in this country to begin.
Jose Rudd, bro, they're socialist Democrats, bro. It's the new socialist party. The new socialist party has adopted all three of the bad freaking. It's like the negative holy trinity of bad ideologies. Marxist, communist, socialist. That's the new socialist Democrat. And we're in trouble, man. I hope that all these people wake up. I know that this thing going on in Iran doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but I can tell you this right now. If you are new to my channel and you haven't heard me talking about it, I want to tell you something. They have been telling the world, death to America. That means all of us. The whole population of the United States of America, death to America, and not one person on the left side said, wait a minute, we can't allow that to happen. But the moment that President Trump says that he's going to go ahead and annihilate a whole civilization, everybody on the left used that against him. And even those fake rhinos or Trump supporters go out there and act like a fool, like they don't know what civilization is versus population. And you know what? The fact of the matter is that they've been saying death to all of us, and we were okay with it. But the moment that we say it back to them, all of a sudden, that is a problem. I need you to wake up and pay attention to what's going on.
You shouldn't have even qualified for naturalization, but somehow that happens. Then you get convicted for material support to terrorism. You should be denaturalized and sent back to where you came from. Why are we tolerating this type of stuff in this country? And so much of it is self-inflicted. Look back at 9/11. That was an immigration problem. These are people that were coming over and their visas expired or they had all this. This wasn't like they showed up subterranean, on the shore and they started doing this. They were open and notorious about doing this. And we see this all around the country. And a lot of it is just, I think, not doing what's right to protect the people. Some of it's political correctness. I don't really know what all goes into it, but we've been very strong in Florida from the beginning on all of this nonsense and doing whatever we can to keep the people of this state safe. And one of the things that the legislature did was you see different things. 9/11 obviously was, a massive terrorist attack, but you also see it with somebody going in with like a suicide vest. You see it, somebody going in and shooting people, doing the chants. That is kind of the formal, explicit jihad actions that we see that happens in the United States, when honestly it should never happen, because you shouldn't have people in this country who hate this country, and that's a big problem with immigration for many, many decades in this country. But you see that, and you see it around the world. But then you also have a more stealth version of jihad, and that is what we see in Europe, quite frankly. Massive migration of people into these Western European countries. They don't want to be like Western Europeans. They want to take their worldview and impose that in other lands. And part of that is, of course, the imposition of Sharia, but it also goes through a whole bunch of other things. And so you have to look at this very holistically.
And it's not about being racist. It's not about being prejudiced. I support every Muslim if they condemn the jihad and Sharia law. If they condemn these terrorist Muslims, they can stay in this country. Everybody else, they got to go. And it's not to be racist, not to be prejudiced. They got to go. I believe that we have the freedom of religion, but any religion that says death to America should not be allowed to be in this damn country. Period. They shouldn't be in this country. That's simple. That's why he said he can't believe that these kind of things happen in our country. Why are we so blind that we can't see that this is a problem? Every time that Trump tried to block or any countries from Islam countries to come to this country, libtards went out there, go crazy, Islamophobe, and all this other xenophobia, and all. They're retarded people. They're not defending the freedom of religion. You know how I know? Because they didn't care when they tried to remove that from school. They always talk about this is not a Christian country, but yet they go and defend to death Islam as if that is something from the Western culture. Christianity actually fits more with us. We're able to assimilate. We're all on the same boat. As there's still sinners, absolutely. As there's still people that don't believe in God, absolutely. But you know what? We have a lot more in common to do what they want them to do. And that's not going to happen in this country.
That's something that I did. I mean, you remember earlier last year, we were strong in designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization, designating the Council of American Islamic Relations as a foreign terrorist organization. And in fact, CARE was an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terror financing trial in American history, the Holy Land Foundation. So you see that, and okay, is that something that we want to be a part of? I mean, if there's a school that is allied with CARE, should you have any of your money going to things like that? I think not. And so part of what the legislature did in this bill was provide a statutory structure for the actions that we took earlier when we took those actions last year. It provided a process where we could identify groups that are foreign terrorist organizations. And the federal government does this all the time. And part of it is commander-in-chief. There's different things the president does. But we need to be doing that here. There was an episode in the late 1790s involving France and American diplomats, and they were having some problems. And they wanted to go negotiate, and the French were demanding money just to be able to negotiate. It was called the XYZ affair. Well, one of the and John Marshall, who later became Chief Justice, was the one that was leading the negotiations. And the Americans just walked away. They're like, we ain't paying for that. So they come back, and one of the congressmen at the time, did a toast, and he said, in the U.S., millions for defense, but not 1 cent for tribute. And I think about what we're doing here. We'll do millions for public safety, millions for education, but never 1 red cent for jihad.
100%, and I wish that there was more people like Governor DeSantis. He is just a badass, and I know, guys. I know that you know, this whole freedom of religion, freedom of speech is like, it's kind of like the same thing that these rioters do, right? They go and vandalize federal buildings and they burn down your small businesses and stores in the name of protest. You know what? F them. That is not a protest. And by the way, the Second Amendment right allows you to defend your property and your loved ones. So the next time a rioter tries to destroy your business, I hope that you're ready to take them out so that they can learn to not mess with American citizens. With that being said, let me go ahead and play the clip here from President Trump giving the announcement for tomorrow at 10 a.m.
I would say it's holding well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole Navy is underwater. You know that. 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect. That'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. And that will be very effective. But what we want to do is we want to, and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading toward our country to fill up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately that'll be corrected. But in the meantime, they're using us. We have more oil because of drill, baby, drill. We have more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia put together. So if you look at Russia and Saudi Arabia, two big ones, we have much more oil than they have put together. And what's happening is boats are coming over here, filling up. We don't have to go through the Hormuz.
You know what? You came late to the party. I already addressed this whole January 6th. What is the first thing that I told you guys? If you've been here with me for all this long, I told you what? Every time that the leftists want to say something bad about us, they always bring up January 6th. It never fails. But they never acknowledge that for 4 years, 12 minutes into President Donald Trump being announced that he was the president, they have been fighting us, the American people, the people that use a democracy to put a man as a president. They fought us 4 years. And they want to bring January 6th. January 6th happened one day, and nothing happened to those corrupted politicians. But in the meantime, hundreds of small businesses went out of business because of idiots like Samuel Husino, who just joined my chat. Burning businesses, small stores, mom and pop stores. 4 years, 8 years, hating us for using our democratic right to vote, our privilege as American citizens. And they want to tell us to stop supporting Trump? I don't think so. President Donald Trump, 100%. We still got 2.5 years plus. Gulf of America, baby. God bless you. Hey, my patriots, members, subscribers, love you, man. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the USA. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.